what a journey it has been so far. The van build took a slight hiatus last week as I was fixing up some loose ends and getting things prepped for this weekend. We've gotten the bed and garage built out, the roof rack all done, and finally have heat in the van. In this episode, Joe came back into town for the weekend and we just got so much done.
Just totally sliced my thumb, like an inch, just right down the side of it. Ouch. My lens has so much like sawdust on it and stuff. Whatever. What is up, guys? What a day it's been so far. I need to get everyone caught up to speed with what we've been doing because we're all jumping in kind of middle of this project here. We've been working on the cabinets today and we have been super successful. A few minor setbacks, had to run to the Home Depot a few times to make sure we had some of the right bits. But all in all, the cabinets are going way easier than I thought. And this was definitely the hardest part of the van build that I was expecting. So the reason why the cabinets are hard in a Sprinter van is because of the curvature of the van. You can't just take a standard cabinet that you buy from Home Depot or have a cabinet builder come in here and just put up normal cabinets because they're square. So you have to get the scribe right first before you kind of move on to actually putting the cabinets together. So that's where a template comes in really nice, and a scribe tool if you can get one. We basically measured from the top of the bed frame because that was a level equal spot to measure from to make sure we kept the same distance from the base to the bed and make sure that the top was the same up there. So basically if your scribe is uneven and you're trying to scribe and you're at an angle, it's not really going to be an accurate measurement. So you kind of want to control all the other variables, if that makes sense, and then start your scribe. You want to keep one point fixed like on the wall, and then you just keep that point fixed and you come up and eventually we'll start to trace the actual curvature of the van. We did that for a few times to kind of keep fine tuning it in to where it's really nice. We ended up going basically 13 inches across, 13 inches down for the width of our cabinets at its deepest point. So that is kind of where we are right now. We have about 6 of these built. We're just working on the rear cabinets right now, and now we are putting kind of the skeleton together to eventually put up here. So what we're doing right now is using a router to create dados. And basically what that is, it's like a structural component of the cabinets where we're basically going to be able to use the wood to kind of reinforce itself by just making little about half-inch thick or half-inch wide indents where the next piece of wood will kind of sit in on that. So this isn't a necessary step, but it's just one of those structural components of building cabinets that we are utilizing.
It makes a stronger cabinet.
Yeah,
what he's trying to
it's
tell
essentially
me.
what I'm trying to say is it makes a stronger cabinet.
I just don't want a phone call when the cabinet falls off the wall.
Yeah, we can't have any cabinets falling off the walls. We just did a super brief test fit. The cabinet's about halfway done in terms of assembly. It feels super solid and it looks so good. Tomorrow we are certainly gonna finish these up, possibly even crank out the kitchen cabinets because now we have the system going now. We didn't start today till like 2:30 because we had to go to Home Depot and that always takes so long. So super stoked. It's about 10 o'clock at night. Just cranking work out today. We're gonna eat some dinner and get back at it tomorrow. So see you guys in the morning. We have another beautiful day here this morning to work on the van, and we're just continuing our cabinet project. Kind of touched over what's called a dado yesterday, so I figured it might be good to kind of show you guys our general assembly and what a dado exactly is. So here's where the dado comes into play. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but you can kind of see how this is notched out just about an 1/8 inch. And what it does is it creates a structural sort of integrity or strengthening to it by allowing the wood to sit in this little gap here. You can see it's a little bit more at play on these cross members here more. Now it's an extremely tight fit, so it might even be hard to see. But we basically use the router to create these dados and then put this in between. I hope that kind of helps show you guys what a dado is
and the general assembly of these, because it's really not that complicated. I watched a few different videos and kind of took different bits and pieces of what I think is going to work best, and that's how we stumbled upon this method.
If you look at this freaking miter, I mean this scribe,
yeah.
And it's, I'm gonna be honest with you, you know, you couldn't pay someone to do it fucking better than that.
That was our final dry fit of the cabinets, and they just fit so super nicely. The most important part was making sure the cabinet face that's gonna be shown in the van, which is the one kind of closest to the kitchen, that scribe is really, really nice, because kind of everything else you're not necessarily gonna see it, so we left the best sort of end cap for that, and it's like just really, really nice. So now what I'm doing is we put on these rear 1x2s, which is gonna be basically how we are mounting these to the van. The other step that I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna work right now is we're putting on like plywood tape on the front of this to kind of cover the cut edges. So I just finished sanding all this stuff down, and now we're gonna apply that. But we're very, very close to actually being able to throw these up and securing it to the van. Check it out, guys, the cabinet is installed. It looks so awesome. Obviously there's no doors on or anything, but just super, super stoked with how the fit is. So instead of having the unfinished edge of the plywood, we put this plywood tape over it, so just kind of cleans it up, and you really wouldn't even notice, but it makes it look super, super cool. These are just gonna be two big overhead drawers that just lift up, have clothes in there. I'm not even gonna need two of these for clothes. Maybe I will. So now we're gonna be doing the same thing for the kitchen cabinets. It's gonna be the same exact design, just a little bit shorter. We're leaving a gap here where this cord is here for kind of like a charging shelf, and then we will just have the kitchen cabinets basically from here all the way over to about here. Okay, so not gonna lie, it is the next evening. There's basically been a 24 hours that has elapsed in between that last time lapse and now, and we got a ton done between then and now. Let me show you guys. The first thing is that we finished the kitchen upper cabinet. We actually had some trouble with this one when we went to put it up last night. It didn't really fit very well, and what we found out was that the bottom of the cabinet was actually bowed. It was like very, very curved. We think from the piece that we put up at the top, we made it like literally a 1/4 inch to an 1/8 inch, really, not even a 1/4 inch too long. So it was kind of pushing out the ends and making like a bow, if that makes sense. So basically what we did is we put some weight on it overnight, honestly, and kind of let that re-sag. And then in the morning, we took the weight off, and we essentially used our pocket square to find the right angles, make sure it actually was straight. And then we put the back braces in there, and it like fits really, really nicely now. So it's a little hiccup, especially from the first one going in so easily. We were like, put this one up, and then it like totally kind of threw us off guard. So that one's all fixed and ready to go. And then we ended up putting kind of the first bit of hardwood finishing piece, which looks so good. Look at that. How good does that look? Basically what we did was use an oak hardwood here. This is just some oak about 1 inch thick. This is about a 5.5 inch piece, and this is 2.5 inch, and it just fits so nice. I'm using an old piano hinge that was in the van here. It's a 4-foot long piano hinge, and this thing just completely comes up, and now you have access to everything in here. I'm gonna basically leave it like this, so if I need to, I can get into some of my electrical stuff. And then here's going to be the access to this cabinet here. This either going to be a dry pantry sort of thing, or I might put my camera equipment in here. I'm not too sure yet. And then obviously you have this access in the back, which you can get from there. And then to show you guys, like as you pull the bed out, it's going to sit on that. So now you're completely level all the way across. So that's kind of the gist with how that whole thing is going to work. I really think the hardest bit, which was the cabinets, is behind us. I don't think there's going to be anything that is that technical in terms of fitment and scribing and things like that, knock on wood. That's what we did today. I'm gonna clean up, make some dinner, and then get back at it. One big push tomorrow. Hopefully we can finish up the bed more and maybe even throw the shiplap up on the walls. gonna start off with kind of like our headboard area. It's not actually gonna be the headboard, but it's kind of the area that's gonna be covering the top of the sofa and bed area. So we're making that out of oak. So we had to make what's called like a story pole to have a template, so we knew where to cut the oak out of, if that makes sense. So right now we're just going to be slicing the oak and then trying to line it all up. That's where we're at right now. We don't really know exactly what we're doing with it, but I think we got a good system that's gonna work out.
So, put it right on here. Let's move this back into the shade.
Well guys, I don't even know what happened with the camera yesterday, but it certainly was not filming. It is Tuesday morning, the day this is going out at about 6:30 in the morning, and I needed to show you guys where the van is because we literally crushed yesterday, just the camera didn't get any of it. First thing where we left off yesterday is our oak sort of headboard here. This whole thing came out really nice. We cut these small finger holes, so then you would pull this out and you have all that storage in there. These go just like that. Here's another big one all the way down. The other thing we did too was cap all these off. You can see these end pieces here on both sides. This is just some 1/4 inch plywood, and just look at this wall with the shiplap. I mean, absolutely beautiful. We even cut out all these for our monitors so far, our heater thing up there. They don't really stay in right now, but just looks so good. This is my favorite decision that I made, was the shiplap. We were literally working till about 11 o'clock last night. We were in the pitch dark here with our lights from our phones. Like, it's so not the way you're supposed to be doing this, but we crushed so much work. And like I said, this is really my favorite thing so far. I think this wall, with everything else paired with the ceiling, it just looks super clean. I'm incredibly stoked with where this van is going. I don't want to say we're almost done, but like, I'm starting to taste like the end of it. Like, really, to be honest, this back will probably be finished up tonight, and then all we'll really have is the kitchen and laying the floor, which won't take that long. So kind of crazy, not gonna lie, kind of crazy to even get to this point. So thank you guys so very much for watching a scattered and rather non-continuous episode 67, but I appreciate you guys checking it out. I appreciate you guys stopping back by. So I'll see all of you guys on Friday. So take it easy, fam. Peace out. Whoop.